All right, here we are at the last gasp of day one. This one should be nice and short. I just wanted to throw this on here. It's not strictly developer related, so I'm assuming I'll see the number of people participating shrink like rats from a sinking ship. But I did want to talk about the wiki a bit because I know a lot of times when we're out in the community, we're talking about various resources that people want in terms of informational and otherwise. A lot of times the answer is, oh yeah, hey, that'd be really good to have in the wiki. And I had a huge, massive, silly backlog of things that would be really good in the wiki, and they just hadn't made it there yet due to usually busy levels of people. So I wanted to get all of those things kind of in a single location, and a blueprint sounded like the best place for that. Figured people could weigh in and fill in the gaps and or shuffle things as it made sense for other people that weren't me. So I guess I can run through the quick list of kind of what we were looking at in terms of resources to go into the wiki, in addition to what we have that also needs to get fleshed out a little bit more. And then from there, maybe we can add a few things, and I can start plugging some stubs into the wiki and beg, borrow, steal, and or otherwise forcibly acquire some content generation resources from elsewhere. So I guess we'll just run down the list. So first thing there was the speakers by region. I'd really like to start building up a resource for people that do trade shows and regional meetups and things like that, to be able to know like who is a Ceph expert that's within spitting distance of where I am at. So it could be for informal or formal purposes, but just get an idea of who's willing to talk about Ceph, and if they have any specific topic that they're an expert in. Like if you want to have a meetup near Paris and you want somebody who knows erasure coding, I think we can probably accommodate you. Other than that, let's see, the event calendar. It'd be nice to have everything that's going on in the community posted up on the wiki somewhere that people could just add to. A lot of this is already there. We have the meetups, we have some event calendar stuff, but I would like to flesh that out and make it a little bit easier to play with. Let's see what else. Ceph tools, community contributors. I'd like to start highlighting things that are going into Ceph or plugging into Ceph, things that are not necessarily Red Hat created, various other things that are going into it. There have been a number of things that people have said, hey, I'd like to list my tool or my plugin or my product or whatever. I think the wiki is probably a good enough place to do that. Procedures, I'd like to really start kind of tightening the thumb screws on our governance and procedural stuff, whether it's how to commit something to Ceph or whether it's how to do something admin related or whatever. I think there's a lot of room for procedural doc in the wiki. Hardware compatibility guide, I think we already took a good swing at this internally. I'd like to get some of that stuff up on the wiki so that some of our hardware resellers and partners and stuff can edit it themselves and really get a good place to go for people that are starting off with their Ceph cluster. That's usually the very first question I get asked.
I think I think yes, but the only key thing is there needs to be like some sort of you can tell how many people have validated that hardware configuration, because otherwise every person is like, it works on my box. And then somebody's going to say, it sure doesn't. And so in order to have some confidence that the compatibility thing is, that more people successfully running, you probably should these people use it and vouch for it or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Some sort of plus ones.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Let's see what else. Community swag. We've got a number of different ways that you can get swag. We even had a T-shirt store at one point. I just don't think it ever went public. Various people asked me, hey, how can I get a Ceph T-shirt, or how can I get this, that, or the other thing? It'd be nice if we could have a resource for either our own build-up of swag, and or if anyone else wanted to print T-shirts or whatever, we could do license and whatnot. Let's see what else. The why we contribute, that was a request from somebody. I just put it in here for completeness sake. Don't know, I won't spend a lot of time on that. Academic outreach. This is something that I've long really wanted to do. This is like, I think, one thing that I talked to Sage about, like, before I got hired. I'd really like to turn things like the Google Summer of Code into pushing Ceph towards the university level, whether that's hackathons or curricula or whatever. I know Red Hat's got a big academic outreach program. Maybe we could, ride the coattails there. But it would be nice if people that are involved in academia could maybe help with that. But be a good place to start is on the wiki. Orchestration and deployment. There are 1,000,004 different orchestration and deployment tools and recipe flavor things. It'd be nice to start documenting some of that and maybe trying to consolidate that down. I know our Puppet recipes recently went through a distillation process, and I think Chef did a while back. It'd be nice to get some of the other stuff kind of consolidated as well, so that we didn't have 20 different people maintaining Juju charms or whatever. What else? Committer listing. I know Loic did a nice job with he's got a script that he runs for each release so that we know which committers were involved in which release. It'd be nice to get that maybe a bit more publicly visible. I'd really like to start making our devs a bit more visible. I mean, one of the first steps of this was the technical committee, the tech leads, those kinds of things. But I would definitely like to get people a little bit more recognition for their work. And I think that will help in building more people wanting to get work into Ceph.
They're actually, based on this script, Sahid made something online out of it. I will add the URL to it. So there is a website that runs this script on a daily basis, I think.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be a good start. I'd like to see that. Let's see what else. Roadmap stuff. Sage, this is probably more us, the technical lead folks, is to get the roadmap up. Start doing more visual, like, representation of what we're doing, so that people can at a glance see what's up.
Yeah, I mean, I would love this if this were part of the workflow in Redmine, so it just sort of falls right out of it.
Yeah.
My first second thought is like something like Trello, but then I just hate to have the two of them. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't want
Maybe
the duplication of
themes.
Yeah.
I wonder if just having like periodic updates that we send to the list where we're like, by the way, this is what's happening over the next month for Rados. These are our priorities, or something like that.
Well, Redmine, is Redmine public? Is there an API or something that's public? Like, do they have
public? The problem with Redmine is that they're very fine-grained tasks that don't make sense to non-developers.
Yeah.
So like saying that we're working on scrub performance, it makes sense for like users and like try-by developers, but for the people doing the work, it's like I'm adding this to the work queue X whatever.
Yeah, I was just wondering if this was something that we could add to the Bitergia work statement of work, because they're already mining Redmine for data. Like, could we just have them create some sort of viz on roadmap and put it on metrics.ceph?
Yeah.
Or is that way too hard?
It's not a number. It doesn't graph.
Well, no, it would just be like, this is the current work tasks, just lists.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
too abstract. Yeah.
I mean, I think if that's the case, you can go click the Redmine view that shows you all the raw tasks, and it'll be.
I suppose.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, it would be nice to get that. Yeah, more visible. And then, the chum bucket paper cuts. This is something that's kind of been hanging around and attempted in half-ass variety a couple of different times, just to find small contained feature development tasks, small coding tasks, self-contained bugs, things like that. Try to find easy ways for people to get involved, to have a prepackaged thing and just say, yes, go do that, and have something you can hand them. And then what else? Identifying and abstracting out some high value documentation stuff, like especially the early on things. Like if you wanted to come up to speeds quickly on Ceph, these are the dozen things that you need to read. Whether it's the quick start or a tuning guide or orchestration and deployment, whatever, like identifying some of that and pulling it out, and making it more community maintained than having it get lost in the wash of Ceph docs. So, I mean, that's the big list of what I think is important. I kind of fleshed out a rough structure of how it might look in the wiki. Is there anything that's obviously missing to people, or is the structure harebrained scheme? I mean, like, I'd love to get some feedback on this and maybe some volunteers. Dare I say?
I think at a high level, this looks good. I think the main, looking at the hierarchy in the Etherpad, the thing that stands out is under development, there's a bunch of tasks that has a sideboard, chum bucket, and paper cuts. But there's also planning that has like blueprint submissions. And I wonder if there's a way that it seems like those should be sort of together somehow. I don't know. I guess I'm not sure what's going to go in that development section that's going to be, aside from like getting started guides that say like this is how you spin stuff up. But even then, that can just live in the docs. Like that doesn't need to be in the wiki.
Yeah, I mean the development and the planning sections were always very like, I don't know if I would call them siblings, but definitely close cousins. The development session was probably more of like the seed stuff and the doc, whereas the planning was this is the actual what's going down.
Right.
But I mean, it wasn't terribly well thought out and architected at the very beginning. It was just kind of let's plug a hole.
Mm-hmm. How does this compare to?
So I think I put new on everything there that's new. Everything else already exists in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I guess as a developer user, I like that in the planning section there's like everything I ever need, which is the blueprints, BDS, and sideboard, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the roadmap is empty.
Yeah, no roadmap.
Yeah, it almost seems like that's why the roadmap feels like it should go in something like Trello, where there's just like a very high level, like RBD, like just development themes, like there's RBD, Rados, FFS, whatever, and it's just like very high level tasks, and so people can sort of see the ordering that things are going in.
Yeah.
And then out of that falls the blueprints and then the detailed tasks that are in Redmine.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how we would do that. Like maybe there's a calendar plugin for MindTouch or something that we can.
I mean, just link to Trello.
Or just I guess. But now you're mixing in systems, and people have to leave the wiki and have another set of credentials, and
unless single sign-on. I don't know.
Well,
who knows?
Yeah.
Well, we're currently right now, right? When you log into the wiki, it's like using
OAuth.
Google, I think is what I'm using.
Yeah, there's Google ID and OAuth. I mean, they're both OAuth, but yeah, OpenID.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Trello has OpenID, and I wish Redmine did. Then we could start unifying our logins. But
yeah, that would be nice. Right before they all change.
No, we get to keep them.
Yeah, I think the biggest high value thing for me is still the chum bucket. Because when people are trying to get involved and they want to like, what's like a bite-sized project that I can do? Yeah.
Anyone else feel like weighing in? Those? Oh, whoops! I accidentally dropped off the Summit channel. Not seeing anything else. No thoughts. Everyone's staying noticeably quiet. No hands raised. Nobody wants to volunteer.
Oh, Ceph, we need to get people to use Ceph Brag.
Yeah. Ceph Brag. I think I can probably facilitate some of that. I don't know. I don't think that Is it belong on the wiki though? I mean, it's more of just
No,
like a
I think
status. I think it's got to be a server by itself, right?
yeah, and somewhere there should be like a dashboard that's like, 372 clusters and 3.7
Yeah.
petabytes of. Oh look, brag.ceph.com.
Yeah.
Let's see what's there.
Yeah. One person, right, Loic?
Some JSON.
Oh.
It just dumps the whole thing. Yeah, maybe a little.
We should polish that a bit.
Yeah, a little chrome for that porcelain or whatever.
Well, isn't Bragg designed to be run as a command, not as a live update?
Well, it's a command that pushes it to the repository, the public thing, but then the public thing should extract that information and have like a nice
right
thing.
I'm just saying, like, it's not like you turn it on, right? You have to explicitly run it.
Yeah, you have to run it. Right.
The thing that runs does anonymization and whatnot.
Right. But I think having a leaderboard and like a total number of clusters and number of petabytes under not management, but under whatever, is the way to like get people interested in running the command, I guess.
Gotcha.
And also, I think the fact that people now are deploying Firefly, which includes command line, makes it more likely that we can get something going.
Yeah.
Well,
or like having a breakdown of how many people are running Firefly, Emperor, Dumpling, whatever, too, so they can say like, oh, look how many people are running Firefly now. Maybe I should upgrade, or or shouldn't. Whatever it is, yeah.
I'll be the first. That's not something I want to trailblaze.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll help promote Ceph Bragg a bit.
Yeah.
But all right, cool. Well, it doesn't sound like there's a whole lot of feedback on the wiki stuff, so it means we must be at least semi on the right track, or at least doing enough work that people don't want to yell at me too loudly. So I guess we'll get started on this. It can always, it's a living thing, so we can always hit it hard later. But cool. Maybe we'll get Eric. I don't suppose Eric stopped by, did he? Or it's pretty late where he's at, isn't it? Look, where's Eric from, by the way? I guess I never knew where his geographic location was. Eric's the new user committee chair.
Yeah, sorry, I was muted. He's from west of France.
Okay, Rennes. So it's late where he is, so maybe that's why he's not here. It would have been. It'll be good to meet him some point.
Past midnight. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap this up early. At least it's now documented in video format, and people can poke at the Etherpad and the blueprint if they have anything truly pressing that they feel like weighing in on. But other than that, I guess we'll start plugging away and seeing if we can't get something going. All right.